Jim Bob, when it comes to Josh Downs, obviously he had a huge day receiving, but what are those conversations like between you and Brian Mason just to make sure he's available to help special teams, but also to help the offense?
Yeah, it's sort of always a discussion when you have a guy that works as a returner, how you're going to manage that as a team, um, to ultimately have the best chance for the whole Colts team to go win the game. So Josh does such a nice job returning those punts that Mason and those guys are really excited to get him back there and let him catch those things and run with them. So we try to work together to make sure that the workload is correct overall. You track those punt returns as the game goes and how things are going, and sometimes you have to, like anything, like any offensive play, when you have one of those sort of longer returns or longer catch and runs on offense, right? Or you just go several plays in a row on offense, we have to be conscious of subbing our guys or just sort of working our personnel groups in a certain way so that guys can be at their best when they're out there. So another part of the game that we just have to keep an eye on to make sure that everybody has their best chance to put their best foot forward. And Josh sure is making some really nice plays for us. So we'll continue to keep track of him and sort of make sure we're doing the right thing with his reps and all that and targets and everything.
And one quick follow-up with Josh. Obviously, you knew he would be good in space. You saw it on tape in college, but how do you think he's kind of taking it to another level in the NFL and just, I guess, getting more comfortable, knowing what he can and can't do to get out of the way and get yards?
Yeah, he's got a really natural feel for space, what's around him, sort of, I think spatial awareness is the fun way to say that, but he's just got a great feel for what's around him, who's coming, how fast they're coming, how close they are to him, how he can get around them or work his way past them. I'd be lying if I said I'm coaching him a whole lot on that. That is instinctive. He is just that is naturally built into Josh Downs. He does such a great job of filling that stuff out with the ball in his hands. And shoot, that crosses over to route running a lot of times for those slot receivers where you're inside, you're working a route maybe against your defender or between two zone defenders, and you have to be aware of who's around you, where that extra defender is. Those are things that Josh is really naturally talented at and is able to use his strengths to really go out there and play good football when it's needed, which it often is. So he's naturally talented at that. Where it's a great benefit to be able to, for a quarterback, go through your progression, take who's there. Sometimes that, the other day that was a 2 or 3 yard pass to Josh Downs, and he sort of got 7 or 8 for that first down. That's really good for all of us on offense, but it's good for the QBs because you're able to just stick to your progressions and you can trust that, hey, Josh is going to catch this thing and he'll make a few extra yards. He's not going to get tackled right there where he catches it. It's a big benefit to him. He's, like I said, naturally talented at that.
Joel?
What stuck out about the way Dalton Tucker played?
Yeah, Tuck played pretty good, man. Tuck, your number gets called in this league. You never know exactly when. You fight like crazy to earn the opportunity, to get your number called, and he's been fighting since the minute we got him here to go practice well and play good football and get a chance to maybe move up with a certain group or get a few extra reps in a practice period. When he's been called upon, he's just continued to improve and continued to put in hard work. And then his numbers, gotten called recently to get in there and play. And he's done the same thing. He's out there competing like crazy. He's communicating with his veteran teammates, and they're doing a great job of talking with him. That's offensive line play, right? Those guys are all talking and communicating and helping each other out. But Tuck answered the bell. It was a tough test this past week. I don't think anybody will, I would say those interior players for the Tennessee Titans are pretty tough ask for a first start for a young guard. But he went in there and held his own. He went in there and competed like crazy and played some good football, and really proud of the way he competed. But the reality of this league is, we got another one this week. We got another really good opponent and a good challenge. But Tuck made the most of his opportunity. We're excited about sort of how he's going to, continue to play and continue to improve as he goes. He's got to keep putting the work in, which he always has, and I bet you he still will. He's a hardworking young man. But we're really encouraged by start number one, and shoot, let's go play some more good football.
Kind of the same thing with Bortolini. You got a little bit more time with him, but got thrown into the mix on Sunday too.
Yeah, Bort, you know, when he was asked, it's kind of the same. It's a different version of the same answer. When his number was called, and you never do know. When his number was called, Bort stepped right in, and at center it is, even a little more complex because, you're snapping the ball to the quarterback. Obviously, you're managing the snap count, the cadence. Sometimes on the road, we're on this silent cadence where you have to time that thing up, so the whole offense is getting out at the same time. That sounds a lot easier than it is. Don't take that for granted. How locked in those centers have to be when they enter a game, especially on the road. Bort stepped right in and got to playing good football immediately. He's been really good for us when called upon this year, and like I said with Tuck, put in a lot of hard work to get here, and we're going to need to keep putting in hard work so we keep playing good ball. But we're really pleased with those young guys doing a good job for us.
George?
What's your assessment of the run game these last 2 weeks without JT in there, and how important is it to kind of make sure that offense is balanced moving forward?
I think you always want to have the threat of both running and passing the ball. When you lose one of those threats, or one of those threats is diminished, defenses really can squeeze down that other side of the thing and make it a little bit tougher. So you want to have the threat of doing both. We went up against a really good opponent last week who did a good job sort of making our life a little bit tougher in the run game than we would like, but we're going to keep plugging at that thing. We've had some really good gainers in there, just maybe looking for a little more consistency with how we operate, sort of offensively overall. Thought, just sort of down in, down out, just cleaning up a few of those little things would lead to more yards and more first downs and ultimately more points. We're real happy to get the win. That's the goal of the whole deal. But it's fairly early in the season, heading towards mid-season here, and we're just going to keep cleaning things up and looking to get a little bit better. We're really encouraged with our group, encouraged with our guys, but to have a winning offense in this league, you got to get better every week. You got to improve, make adjustments, sort of play that cat and mouse game with the defense where you get good at something, then the defense recognizes that you're good at it. They make adjustments. You got to adjust back, that counter punch, if you will. So it's just all a part of the fun of an NFL season here. So glad we got the win. The guys fought like crazy. Those guys were out there competing so hard. It was good to see. We need to keep showing up and competing like that every week. And like I said, we'll clean stuff up around here and sort of get better and better as we go.
And then we'll do our last two from JJ and then James.
Jim Bob, before Anthony got hurt against Pittsburgh, he's on fire in that game. I guess what tells you he can pick up where he left off if he does start on Sunday against Miami? Yeah,
Anthony's been putting in really good work here around the building, sort of working through his process, going through just everything that a quarterback goes through with the weekly process of learning the game plan, learning the opponent, being ready to play when called upon. He was playing really good ball early in that game, and shoot, we're excited to watch him play really good ball again here soon. Hopefully, he's been, like I said, putting in really good work, and good work leads to good play. That's the nature of this league. That's it's practice, it's meetings, it's work on an off day like today. That's what I've learned in the NFL at this level. To play good on Sunday, you got to earn that Monday through Saturday. And Anthony's doing that. He's putting in the work. I'm excited to see him get that to pay off for him on Sunday, hopefully here soon.
And last question, James.
I feel like I missed the mark not asking about Pitt, but you got a guy who's dealing with a lot from what he and his teammates said. So what's your take on just seeing him go out there and perform and not only play, but just meet the moment?
Yeah, it's a real testament to who he is as a man, who he is as a player. Some of the things he does in the game are unheralded, but they're little things in the blocking game where, we had a certain run play where gosh, his safety, he usually blocks the safety sometimes in the run game. That safety got up in the line of scrimmage. Our O-line and tight end group took him. Pitt just kept on going and got the linebacker. You know, just really cool things like that. Pitt's tough. Pitt competes. You know, when Joe put that ball up on sort of 3rd and 10 at the 10 or thereabouts, you know, I couldn't have had more confidence that Pitt was going to come down with it, just because I know the type of player he is, the type of man he is, how tough he is, how hard he competes. That over route that we hit in the 4th quarter, what a catch that was, and what a throw, honestly. What a catch, what a throw. But Pitt makes those huge plays for us. Pitt, he's out there competing with his teammates. He loves to play, man. He loves football. You know, there's no doubt about that. He loves to play. He loves to compete. You know, we were obviously all thrilled to win, but Pitt played a huge role in that game. And, you know, we're really glad to have, you know, Michael Pittman here to be Michael Pittman Jr. Go play ball, go play tough, and make huge catches for us. We're, you know, real fired up to work with him, real fired up to work together.